Now, this is very, very interesting. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has filed an inquiry of the impeachment of current President Joe Biden and come out and saying after they have found findings of illegal money laundering and other corrupt behind-the-scenes practice that are unsuit for a president. Let's take a listen to what House Speaker Kevin McCarthy had to say about a possible Joe Biden impeachment trial.
Conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption. Now, here's what we know so far. Through our investigations, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings.
We know Biden's a fucking liar.
Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined on multiple phone calls and had multiple interactions. Dinners resulted in cars and millions of dollars into his son's and his son's business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates through various shell companies. The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates that were flagged as suspicious activity.
So this has to be official documentation that they have, since they say that they have bank records from Joe Biden and his family. Very, very interesting.
By U.S. banks. Even a trusted FBI informant has alleged a bribe to the Biden family. Biden used his official office to coordinate with Hunter Biden's business partners about Hunter's role in Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company. Finally, despite the...
Now, hold on. Burisma, he said, a foreign Ukraine country. Connect the dots. Why has Joe Biden constantly, continuously keep giving billions upon billions upon billions of taxpayer dollars to Zelensky and Ukraine? For anybody who's not stupid and idiotic out there, Ukraine is no longer in a war. They no longer need money, yet Biden continues to give them billions every single time Zelensky asks. That sounds like that's money laundering to me. Why are you continuing to give another country money when people here in your own country need money, with a recession going on, with inflation, where people are struggling to even afford to pay their bills? You mean to tell me that's not a red flag? That's not something that just raises your eyebrow and be like, that's a little bit suspicious.
Serious allegations. It appears that the president's family has been offered special treatment by Biden's own administration. Treatment that not otherwise would have received if they were not related to the president. These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption.
And let it be known, he's not the only one out there. There's been past presidents who have abused their power, who have led a coup of corruptions, even political figures in office right now. Both Republicans, Democrats, you name it. Everybody who's a government law official, they're all crooked and corrupt behind the scenes. I don't trust none of them, to be honest with you. I sound more towards Republican, more towards the right conservative side, because some of the things that they do actually make sense. But with the liberals, they are just loony. Loony liberals is what I call them. But both sides cannot be trusted to the full extent because it's corruption. Corruption, the political party was built on corruption.
And they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives. That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. It's exactly what we want to know.
And that's exactly what the American public deserves to know. What has Joe Biden been doing behind closed doors to fuck over the American people? This is probably one of the most worst economic times that we have ever been in. What has he done with money, the alleged $20 million that was wired to him and his family. What has he done with Hunter Biden's business deal? You all know about Hunter Biden's laptops and the content that was on there, that if that had been anybody else, they would have been in prison for a life sentence. Just because you have the name president should not absolve you from any other crimes or the consequence of the crimes when regular citizens commit them. Okay, it's bullshit. Let's see. They said that they have evidence and that they're giving this time to gather evidence. This sounds like music to my ears. But if this happens to be true, oh yes, this should be fully exposed to the public, full transparency from top to bottom if this is the case.
The answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations. This effort will be led by Chairman James Comer at the Committee on Oversight in coordination with Chairman Jim Jordan for Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jason Smith on Ways and Means. Now, I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans.
Exactly.
The American people deserve to know
what the fuck's going on.
Public offices are not for sale. And that the federal government is not being used to cover up the actions of a politically associated family. Now, I would encourage the president and his team to fully cooperate with this investigation in the interests of transparency. We are committed to getting the answers for the American public. Nothing more, nothing less. We will go wherever the evidence takes us. Thank you very much.
Yep, and just walk away and leave it like that. Now, this is going to be very, very interesting. Now, again, this is just an inquiry. They got to gather more evidence. They got to gather more substantial evidence to prove that Biden is, in fact, guilty of all the allegations that Kevin McCarthy laid out. But I am all here for it. This is music to my ears. You guys know I am not a Joe Biden fan at all. The only reason, and let's be real, the only reason he won the 2020 election was because people hated Donald Trump. Okay, the stuff that Trump was saying was just nonsense. Okay, that type of stuff that you should not be saying those type of things as a public figure, and it rubbed people the wrong way. And Biden was the only choice. I mean, hell, if it was up to me, I would have probably voted for Bernie Sanders. But people looked at Bernie Sanders and said, this guy's too fucking old to be in office. The same shit happening with Joe Biden. Have you not seen this man and the things that he has been saying lately at press conferences? He is completely senile. He's out there. He does not know where he's at most of the time. So literally, Biden, for the majority of people in 2020, was the last resort, just because they hated Trump and wanted him out the White House. And again, the shit that Trump was saying rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, rightfully so. Now look at these ridiculous fact-checked articles right here. Like, look at this. Claim Biden's family associates got $20 million through shell companies. Bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments of what Kevin McCarthy just said were directed to Biden family members and associates through various shell companies. Facts first. This is true about Joe Biden's family and associates, but there is no public evidence to date that the president personally received any money. But yet Kevin McCarthy says that bank records show that they had. So the fact that you have these fact checkers coming out and saying this bullshit, say, yeah, this is true that Joe Biden and his family were associates with the shell, but you know, there's no evidence to say that they received money, when Kevin McCarthy says that they have bank records to show and support what they're saying, is not really a fact check. It's a propaganda check. Next thing, let's see what they had posted here. Claim an informant alleged that the Biden family got a bribe. Okay, facts first. It's true that an informant gave a tip on the nature of the FBI in 2020 and that the Bureau had viewed him as a credible informant, but the underlying allegations that the Biden family was given a bribe is totally unproven. The informant was nearly reporting something that he said he'd been told by Ukraine businessmen. Okay, as I mentioned before, you tie Ukraine and you tie what Biden has been doing for Ukraine, giving billions of dollars of taxpayer money to them. Ukraine, an informant, and they're pretty much saying this is true. An informant gave a tip of the nature of the FBI's investigation in 2020. Now they want to say, well, but you know, we don't have no evidence about it. Again, propaganda bullshit to cover up the lies and that they've been exposed. Now, again, this is all just alleged. Kevin McCarthy says that they have the bank records and they will get the documentation and substantial evidence proof to back this up if this does in fact go into trial. Now let's look at the next fact check claim. Biden participated in calls and dinners with his son Hunter Biden's business partners. Facts first. McCarthy claims amid a key context about what and wasn't reportedly discussed in calls and dinners. A Hunter Biden associate testified that even though Joe Biden was on these calls and at these dinners, he didn't discuss business. Why the fuck are you at your associate's son's business partner meetings and dinners and you don't discuss business? That makes no fucking sense to me. If I have an LLC, I have a company, and I have business partners who help me run that company, and we go out, I'm going to discuss business with my associates of that business. It's literally common sense 101. And the fact that they're saying, yes, Hunter Biden was associated with his business partners. Joe Biden was on these calls and at these dinners, but they didn't discuss business. So you mean to tell me your son did not discuss business with you, his father, at these dinner parties and telephones? Yeah, y'all did not discuss business one bit. You should be like, hey, son, how you doing? Oh, you got your business partners. Oh, I don't want to talk about business. That's bullshit, okay? That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. And if you believe this, you're a fucking idiot, just like the rest of the left side. Another last claim, fact check claim. Biden's family members' financial transactions were flagged as suspicious. Facts first. The existence of these suspicious activities reports don't prove wrongdoing on their own. So they're saying, yes, these were flagged, but they don't prove wrongdoing just because it was flagged. What kind of nonsense and ridiculousness is this? If you had got an unsuspicious deposit into your account, they're going to be like, how did you get this large sum of money? Just how Biden wanted to make a rule, and I believe this is in place, that the IRS will monitor your accounts of up to $600 of transactions because they viewed that as suspicious. Yet this man gets $20 million deposited into his account, and they're like, yeah, it is suspicious, but it's not because it was them. It wasn't on their own, even though it is suspicious. But it wasn't because it was their own doing. Are you fucking kidding me? The bullshit that spews from these websites. Literally, this guy tell, hey, listen, this is looking bad for us, but I need you to go and just spew whatever shit that comes out your ass and say and call it a fact check. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, I can't wait for this impeachment inquiry to proceed. Let them gather all the substantial evidence that they need and get this motherfucker the fuck out. They probably won't do it because it's election season. Hopefully it does, but this stuff, if you had to ask me, probably won't go nowhere because elections season is upon us. But if they're able to gather this before, by next year, 2024, around this time, and get them out, oh, this is music to my ears. Music to my ears. Just how, again, I'm not a Trump fan at all, okay? But if I had a gun to my head, I would vote Trump over Biden. Hell, I'll probably vote Trump right now if you didn't have a gun to my head. But what we have seen with Joe Biden and the fact that they're going after Trump because of all these, him stating that the election was rigged and all that type of shit. And they just want to keep Trump from running in 2024 because they know if Trump runs, Biden is going to lose. That's for a fact. And they're just trying to keep him out of running from the elections, trying to keep him out of campaigning. That's why all these indictments are coming from, with little to no evidence, besides him saying that the election was stolen and him saying that, he had a hand in the January 6th riots. These indictments are just so Trump does not run for office in 2024 again. They want to keep him out because they know damn well if Trump runs in 2024 against Joe Biden will get slaughtered. People are tired of what has been happening in the past 4 years under the Biden administration. That is for a fact. That's why his number has declined. His numbers have declined, and Trump's numbers have gone up. But let me know what you guys think about this Kevin McCarthy impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden. Leave your comments down below. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.